pleasant good day, everyone. I want to take a quick minute to share this tip with us. And it's about, as you're on practicum, how you are engaging in conversations, difficult conversations. But the real word today I want to talk about is how are you preparing for those conversations? I've been listening to teachers on TCs and practicums, conversations with AT, with FA, in the department and outside. And I realize, especially talking to educators, there is a fear with many of us to have these difficult conversations. And we're kind of hoping sometimes that they don't pop up, so to speak, in our subject areas. The truth is, I think everybody's realizing that these conversations will pop up in any and every subject area. Students comment, directly linked to content. However, just on a regular basis, the jokes, the sarcasm, the bully, different things happen in our schools, and more and more as a teacher candidate you are realizing that it takes absolutely no specific subject area for these conversations to happen. They come up in every conversation. They come up in recess, they come up outside in at lunchtime. And the word I want to leave with you today is preparation. I want to do a little pushback. I want to do a little pushback because often when I hear in the conversations about, it's difficult and I don't think I have the tools and I would want someone to speak to, all of those are great. But sometimes what I see is there is no preparation, or there is inadequate preparation, or there is an idea that I don't need to prepare. I want to explain to all of us that having these conversations about inequities, anything to do with race, racism, twist, LGBTQ, racial injustice, whatever they are, these conversations we need to prepare. Oftentimes, when I get an invitation, sometimes there are two reasons why I can't do that workshop or that talk. Number one, I'm unavailable because of the date or physically. And number two, I will not have enough time to prepare for this conversation. And I think I see it, and I'm intentional today with this video that I want to leave that with all of us, that we have to prepare for this conversation. And there's a quote there, but I really want to leave just one specific part of this quote. Oftentimes requires so much courage to handle. I want you to understand that preparation helps with that courage. And I want you to understand that when we talk about bold conversations, brave conversations, courageous conversations, they are not matter of fact conversations. We're talking to children, to students who have had social media influences, who have had coming from homes where these conversations are not happening. Their lived experiences have prevented and protected and shielded them from some of these conversations. Some of these students, their environment, some of these conversations is a part of their joke, the everyday joke. We get it. The LGBT, the 2S LGBTQ joke, the indigenous joke, the black joke, the immigrant joke. And so when you are going into these conversations, I want to say to you, TCs, you need to prepare for these conversations. These conversations can happen when done effectively. Do not take it for granted that you are going to show up in a classroom and just have these conversations. You create great lesson plans. I did say great lesson plans to have these conversations. Practice your craft. Prepare for the conversations. Do your research. Bring in the examples. Yesterday I was watching CP24, and there were two different news stories about hate within schools. Have you captured those news stories? Have you correlated and curated those news stories? How are you using those news stories and the video clips and the real stories out there? Don't think you're gonna just go with the flow and you're just gonna flow with it. I've heard it. No, 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 no. This courageous conversation, we can't just flow with it. Can I tell you a secret? I don't just flow with it. And I've been doing this for years. These conversations demand emotional preparation as well. So it's your research, it's your getting your case studies, your newspaper articles, your clips, your data, your statistics, the research, strong voices from the research. You're going to pull in the strong voices. As much as I have a strong voice, when you see me do this conversation, I pull in all the other strong voices, stronger voices than my own as well. And they can be found in research, and they can be found in articles and journals. I bring in my video clips, case stories. I bring in my own stories as well. And then the last thing I want you to do as you work at preparing yourself for these courageous conversations is also to unpack your own positionality, your own bias. There's quite a bit. I'm going to say something right now. There are quite a bit of persons who are tasked, and they are teachers as well, with having these conversations. And again, can I tell you this? And they have not had the conversation with themselves. So I see some of us struggling because we don't understand our own positionality. In your research, I'm sure you're doing that in research, spend time and don't do what I call, you know, check the box positionality. I'm a white person, I don't have this experience, and I'm coming from you from this very standard, very check box. I want you to ask yourself, tell me about yourself. Ask yourself questions about, why did I think about this? Why was this something that I was afraid of? Why was I scared about this topic? Why was I uncomfortable? What made me uncomfortable? How do I question myself, interrogate myself? We are lacking in self reflection, self interrogation. We are lacking in that. Spend some quality time unpacking that and get yourself ready for those courageous conversations. I want to talk about some tips. In my next tip, I want to give you some tips to courageous conversations. So over the next couple weeks, we're still going to have them. And I want you to go back to some of those old tips, because I hear people asking questions and the content is there. We have to do our work. Stop trying to ask for 5 steps and 3 steps and give me, give me, give me. Invest in your learning, your unlearning. Invest in your tooling and retooling. Invest in your toolbox. This is a courageous conversation. Are you preparing yourselves for the courageous conversations? So that's my tip for you today. The word is preparation. That's my tip for you today. The word is preparation. We can't just go with the flow. There is no go with the flow with courageous, brave conversations. Prepare yourselves for them paper wise, research wise, but prepare yourself for them physically, emotionally. These are heavy conversations if done the right way. Can you carry it? Can you lift it up? Are you able to lift it up? Yes, you can. Prepare for it. Yes, you can. But you need to do the preparation that I sense is lacking. Spend quality time preparing to engage in these courageous conversations. Have a wonderful day. Continue to be amazing. Make MT program and OISI proud. Make yourself proud. All right. Have a wonderful day. Look forward to another few tips in the next couple weeks. And wishing you all a great March break. Catch your breath. Take some time to enjoy the sunshine. That's a part of resistance as well. I always talk about that. Taking care of yourself, being well enough to be good enough is a part of the conversation as well. Have a wonderful day, everyone.